So I got an unlimited Regal card today. To be honest, it was a long time coming. But anyway, the first movie I used it on was Ford versus Ferrari. I had wanted to watch this movie last week, but I didn't get a chance because I am just a big fan of watching movies the week that they come out, if I can, the day that they come out. And honestly, for me, the appeal to this movie wasn't necessarily the plot. It was more than anything the elements around the film itself, and the fact that it's Christian Bale and Matt Damon. Just, those are two people that I love watching on screen, especially Christian Bale. I've never seen a bad movie that he's done. And but anyway, it has all of the elements of a great film. You've got Christian Bale, Matt Damon, Italian men, fast cars. What can go wrong, Give you a quick summary. It's about Ken Miles and kind of the untold story of how he was cheated out of the Le Mans race in France. He was a race car driver for the Ford Motor Company, and he was slated to win this race along with three other drivers that were sent in with Ford. They were racing against all these other big companies, and Ferrari was one of them. Now, the reason why the whole Ferrari, brand is important to the story is that it was a time where Ford and Ferrari were in very direct competition. They were, this was a time where Ford was kind of becoming a little bit more obsolete, and they were just sort of trying to keep up with that new design of a sports car, a faster car, something that wasn't responsible, that wasn't practical. And this was one of the ways that they wanted to do that, was through becoming the premier, I guess, race car drivers, and producing that kind of car, which they hadn't done before. They are working together on this car. They have a very limited time to get this car up and running, and Mr. Shelby knows that he wants Christian Bale's character, Ken Miles, to drive it. And it's really an interesting story of, these two older men who feel like maybe their shot has come and gone. Carroll Shelby used to be a race car driver. He was great at it, but he has a heart condition, so he can't race anymore. And Ken Miles, he started racing super late in his life. I say super late, but I mean like 40s. And isn't entirely sure if this is a viable way to provide for his family, which includes the most adorable little boy, Noah Jupe, who played Shia LaBeouf in Honey Boy. He's great. He's gonna be like the next Leo. And anyway, he is trying to decide whether this is something he wants to keep pursuing that's not really providing anything for his family. But this opportunity comes to join the Ford company in this capacity, and he takes it. And it's basically that journey. It's a great movie. Honestly, it's 2.5 hours long. It does feel like it's 2.5 hours long. There's some movies like Joker, I believe, was 2 hours and I want to say 10 minutes, maybe under that. Does not feel that long. Genuinely does not feel that long. All of the racing scenes in this film make it seem a little bit shorter, but there was a time where I was like, all right, let's go. Which maybe some people wouldn't feel like that. Maybe because I'm not a car person. I know nothing about cars. I literally don't even have a license. Maybe that's the reason why to me it wasn't necessarily, to me it did feel like it was long. But then again, I could watch Christian Bale on screen for however long. I'm not complaining about that. And also Matt Damon. But Christian Bale is really the star of the show. I think it's a great film. I think it's worth your time. I think this is the kind of film that I have been waiting for and been excited about. I said that with Honey Boy, but I truly mean it now. I think we're getting into that season of where the movies are just going to be, you know, it's getting closer to Oscar season, and so we're going to see those films a lot more, and I cannot wait. Great performances all around. You have some incredible people playing the supporting roles that you see them and you go, yes, love that guy, love that guy. Yeah, so it was a pleasure to watch. I understand why people like Fast and Furious now. Not that I'll sit through one myself, but I kind of get it now. Um, Fast cars are entertaining as heck. So, I mean, I get it. I don't know how many more movies like this I'll sit down and watch, but there's so many good trailers that I watched before this film as well. 1917 looks incredible. It's directed by Sam Mendes, who directed Revolutionary Road, which is one of my favorite movies, and literally no one I know has watched it. It is depressing, but still just like beautiful and wonderful. Anyway, so that movie looks great. A few other movies, but I can't remember off the top of my head, and so that tells you something. But anyway, so excited for all these movies to come out. This is definitely an Oscar contender, I would say. I don't know that it will earn an actual win, but it's great. The music in it is great. The action sequences are not too much. It's just like, I loved everything about it except for the length of it. And I mean, I guess the dialogue wasn't anything to write home about, but because the connections feel so real and so well developed, I didn't really mind that like certain characters had maybe a total of like 2 lines in the movie. The guy who plays Lee Iacocca, he's the guy who's in he's the main guy who in Punisher and in the Netflix series. He's fantastic, and you see him on screen for like maybe a total of 6 minutes. Noah Jupe also is in the film for maybe 20 minutes, but every moment like just counts. And I'd say the moments that dragged on for me at least were just a few of the like setting up what's coming next with the history of Ford and Ferrari. And there was like a whole sequence where they're making negotiations with Ferrari because at first they were trying to partner with them, and things like that, which I know are essential to setting up the story and setting up the film and why it's so important for them to beat them and why they have this vendetta against them. But you know, because I'm not like a huge like history buff of cars, I just didn't really care too much. It's beautiful, it really is, and highly recommend. 8.5 out of 10. I don't know that I'd give it the 9 out of 10. Acting 10 out of 10 on the part of every single actor in the film. So I'll probably watch it again, honestly. So but yeah, I'm hoping to get A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood to you as well, because I can't wait to watch that one. Watch the documentary, and I'm so excited about this one. So yeah, we'll see.